Hi everyone, this is Suresh from Azure ADB. Today our topic is how to change column data type using cast function. So normally we'll use in Pyspark cast or change the data frame of any column data type using cast function. So there are three methods we can do this cast function normally. One is using with column function, using select expression function, or using SQL. So today we'll mainly focus on using with column. So we'll see syntax, how it looks with cast function. See, this is syntax to convert from string to integer type. Okay, so what you will write normally, df dot with column, and we'll mention that particular column name. So here column name is age and df dot age. So this is the column name you want to change the data type. Then dot cast. Okay, dot cast, and inside bracket we need to provide to which data type you want to convert. Since I want to convert here from string to integer, so here I am mentioning integer type. Okay, so this integer type you can mention any of these three methods. Okay, either fully like integer type or simply int or integer. So either way it will work. Okay, there is another way. Suppose I want to change data type of multiple columns. So then we can use with column function df dot with column. So this first with column, this for one of the column is first column. Then this is for second column. This is for third column. So like this, you can add how many columns you want. Okay. So with column age, on age column, I want to do data type change. Call of age dot cast string type. Okay. So here I want to change to string type. Next is graduated. This is the column name. This one dot cast boolean type. Okay, so this one I want to change to boolean type. Next, third one is job start date. This one I want to cast as date type. Okay, so you can try with different data type options depending on your requirement. Okay, so this is about converting string to integer type. Next, we'll see what is the syntax for to convert string to date. Suppose my column start underscore date. You assume that you read one data frame df. Then if you see df dot print schema of that particular data frame, you observe that that data type is showing string, but actually it's supposed to be date type. So then how to change from string to date type? So the syntax is df dot with column. You mention this column name, start underscore date. Then you will write to underscore date. And on which column you want to change. And in which format you want. DDMMYY or you want MMDDYY. So that format you can mention here. See here and here, see difference. So this is to change date type. Whenever doing date type, you have to write to underscore date. Whenever you want to do other data types like string, integer, boolean, date type, so these times you can use cast. So only in case of converting date type, you will write to underscore date. Okay. So next one more example is convert date to long type. Suppose this particular column payment underscore date. So currently it is reading as date. Okay. So then how to convert this one to long type? So just use dot cast and inside that you mention long type. There is one more syntax like how to convert string to boolean. Suppose this column is graduated. Currently it is reading as string. Then how to convert to boolean type? you just cast it boolean type. Okay, so these are all ways using with column function. Okay, so next we'll see how to do with select. So here I want to change to integer type. Okay, so for this syntax, df dot select, and inside that you mention column name and dot cast and data type int. Okay, so you can mention either of these. Int means like either you can mention fully integer type, int, integer. So that is up to you. And so whenever using select, no, so you always give alias age. Okay, so this is the syntax for select if you are using select function. And the final third one is select expression. Suppose you want to write expression. Okay, so then df dot select expr expression, then double quotes. You might write like SQL queries. Cast of age. Age is the column name as integer, and that column name you mention as age. Okay, so see under select expression, no, so these are all like equivalent to SQL coding. Okay, so this is about syntax. So here mainly what is the two types? One is cast, one more is to underscore date. Okay, so now we'll see demo how to use these functions. See, so normally whenever you read data types, you will find many of the data types. But as per my experience, among these, you will find normally string type, date type, timestamp, array type, struct type, object type, map type, boolean type. Okay, so these kind of data types are absorbed as of now, my experience. But normally by using Pyspark cast function, you can convert these many data types. These are the list of data types you can convert. Next, yeah, same syntax we discussed here. Okay, so next we'll come to our example. So I have one data frame. So I'm going to create this data frame. So before that, I'm reading these functions. So importing lit call and to date. So to convert to date, you require to date and current underscore timestamp. And from Pyspark SQL dot types import these things. So here all data types, whatever data types you require, no, you want to convert. So you mention all data types. Okay, string type, double type, long, boolean, date. Okay, so here whatever mentioned, no, syntax. So before writing this syntax, we had to import from Pyspark these data types. Okay, so I'm trying to run this cell. So I'll try to attach cluster. Yeah, so next I will run this data frame by using spark.create data frame. And if I run this, so here I given df.show truncate false. So you can use instead of this display of a df. Okay, so you will get in tabular format. So if you observe here, you will see all data types of this particular data frame. Okay, so first, what is the column name? So first is showing address. Okay, and this address, this one, this is string, and age. Age is this one. So this it reading as long, and height. So height. See, these are decimals are there, no? So wherever numbers will have decimals, then it will read as a double. Next name. So name is this string. Roll number string. And if you see weight, weight is this one. So this reading as long. Okay, so this is our initial data set. So here on top of this, what I'm trying to do here is I'm using tf.select and I'm mentioning star in double quotes. So what it means is star means it will take all the columns. Okay, all the columns, and on top of that, I am adding these three columns by using lit function. So this first example, what it shows is to create integer data type. Okay, so what I'm mentioning lit 2. Lit 2 means, and I given dot alias. This is the column name. It will add one additional column, and that values, no, that entire values will print with 2. Okay, suppose it will add one column here, and this 2 will print for all the rows. Since I am not given double quotes this value, simply I mentioned 2, it will read as integer. Since I given here a double quote, it will read as string. Here, since I'm not mentioned any double quote, by default it will read as integer, but I want to read this column as long type. So for that, what I did, I given dot cast, and I mentioned inside that data type as long type. So now if I try to run this cell, it will add 3 new columns. See, these 3 new columns got added. First one, source system ID, source system ID, source system ID. Okay, so you can give some different names for these columns. But see, since I given 2, it will read as integer. Okay, so here only you can find out that. See, 1, 2, 3 is there, no? That means int. If you place mouse here, it will show data type. Okay, integer. Next, second one, I given double quotes, no? It will read as a string. See here ABC is that indicates string. And third one, since I'm converting this 2 to long type, no? See here 1, 2, 3 is a, see this is big int. Okay. Here, since I given only 2, it reading as int. But here I changed to long type. But as per here data type long type, but here it will display instead of long type, it will display as big int. Okay, so parallelly you can cross verify here. So these 3 columns newly added. Okay, so first one is integer, that is this one. Second one is a string, that is this one. And third one is long. We converted to long type. So that is long. Okay. This is the way you can do data type change. So this is one example. So we'll see one more example. Suppose I have this data frame. I'll try to run this data frame. See, total I have these columns, language, framework, user, backend, date. And if you see these relevant data types, language, string, framework, string, users, string, backend, string, date, string. Okay, so by looking this example means like 1, 2, 3 or ABC, you can find out whether it is integer or string. And parallelly, you can place mouse here. It will show what is a data type. Okay, but if you observe here, language and framework, these two are fine. Okay, and these two are strings and it reading correctly. But in case of users, see it reading as string, but actually this is integer, either integer or a long data type. It should be. And if you come to backend, it is reading as string, but these are all true and false. So that it should read as boolean, but it read as string data type. But if you see this particular column, date column, see these are all dates, but it read as string. Okay, so by default it reading as this type. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll try to convert these columns into correct data types. So my first example is how to change data type of single column. So first I want to change any one particular column. So which column I'm selected here? Users. If you see here, users. So this is the first column we had data type mismatch. Users it is string, but it should be either integer or long type. Okay, so here what I'm trying df4 dot with column function I'm using, and I'm mentioning column name here and call of users. Okay, so you can use this call of users, or you can use directly users, or you can use cf dot users. Okay, all are same only. And this particular column I am doing cast and I'm mentioning as integer type. Okay, so if you run this cell, integer type is not defined. Okay, so here I'm not imported integer type. So here I will try to import integer type. Okay, I'll try to run again this cell. Now I'll back to here. Now I will try to run this cell. See, since I given print schema, no? See, because I given print schema, here it's showing data type. So you can observe either here or you can observe here. I'll try to print data also here. Yeah, so if you see now, column is users. Okay, so now if you see this users data type, it changed to integer type now. So earlier it was string. Users, it is a string. Now by using cast function, I changed to integer type. Okay, so next we'll see how to change multiple columns at a time. Okay, so first we want to convert data type of column users. So by default it is string, no? So I want to convert from string to integer. Next backend column. So this backend column, currently it is string. I want to change from string to boolean because these are all true and false, no? So I want to change to boolean. Next convert date column from string to date. Since it is date, no, but it is reading as string. So I want to change from string to date. So we'll see how to change these data types. So what I'm doing here on top of data frame df4, I'm using 3 times with column function. So each with column for each column. So first I'm applying for users, backend, date. Okay. So users, I am using cast function and I want to change it to integer type. And for backend, call of backend dot cast. So I'm changing this one to boolean type. And the date column, I'm casting to date type. Okay, so that is my requirement. This one to integer, this one to boolean, this one to date. Okay, so if I try to run this one, yeah, see, you can observe either here or here. So users, it converted to integer, backend, it converted to boolean, date, converted to date. Okay, so this is how you can use cast function to change the data types of columns. Okay, so that's all for this video. So if you really like this video, please like and subscribe and share in your circle. Thank you.